Now on Denver 7 News at 4, a Wheat Ridge police officer stabbed by a suspect. Hear the latest about his recovery in the hospital.
A growing number of schools are looking into fast-tracking nurses' education, how they think that this could be part of the solution to the national nursing shortage. And the pandemic is inspiring more young women to start investing. We'll take a look at the new tools making this attainable for every family.
And police make an arrest in the New York Subway shooting. What we're learning about the suspect and the charges he's facing. Thank you for joining us at 4. I'm Jacqueline Allen. We are learning more this afternoon about the Wheat Ridge police officer who was stabbed multiple times this morning while responding to a call at an RV park. His name is Officer Alan Fisher, and he's been with the department for nearly 20 years. Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez joins us live now from that RV park. And Ivan, the good news is Officer Fisher is doing okay.
The Wheat Ridge Police Department tells me Officer Fisher went into surgery suffering from multiple stab wounds. He's now recovering and said to be in good spirits in the hospital alongside his family. Around 1 this morning, officers reported to a suspicious U-Haul that hit a fence at the Prospect RV Park. Wheat Ridge Police says 2 police officers approached the driver, and that's when Officer Fisher was stabbed. His partner was able to take the suspect into custody and help provide medical care to Fisher while paramedics arrived. For people staying at this RV park, it's a terrifying incident.
To know when your person goes out every night, someone you care about, and then to hear this news, it must be terrible. It's awful, so I'm so glad to hear he's doing well.
The suspect is 29 years old and has been charged with attempted murder and first-degree assault. Live in Wheat Ridge, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
That officer is going to be okay. Thank you, Ivan. Now, following an intense search, the NYPD says they have arrested Frank James. He's the man accused of opening fire on a crowded subway train yesterday morning. This afternoon, investigators giving new details about his capture, including that he called police himself and told them where he was. ABC's Rena Roy is in Brooklyn with the latest.
33 shots, but less than 30 hours later, we're able to say, we got him.
Investigators saying 62-year-old Frank James is now in police custody.
Officers, in response to a Crime Stoppers tip, stopped Mr. James at 1:42 p.m. at the corner of St. Mark's Place and First Avenue in Manhattan. He was taken into custody without incident and has been transported to an NYPD facility.
Authorities say James boarded a Manhattan-bound N train during the Tuesday morning commute, detonated 2 smoke grenades, and began shooting.
It was 3 or 4 quick pops right back, and everyone on my train immediately knew what it was.
Kenneth Foote Smith says there was sheer panic as innocent subway riders were trying to escape.
It was just a really scary situation, almost like a horror movie of sorts.
Police say 29 people were hurt, 10 of them treated at the hospital for gunshot wounds, all of them surviving. Investigators discovered James was armed with an arsenal of weapons, including a semi-automatic handgun with extended magazines, a hatchet, commercial-grade fireworks, and apparent gasoline.
We used every resource at our disposal to gather and process significant evidence that directly links Mr. James to the shooting. We were able to shrink his world quickly. There was nowhere left for him to run.
The massive manhunt spanning at least 3 states and various addresses linked to James, including a former home in Wisconsin. Police focused on this U-Haul, found abandoned just miles from the shooting scene. They say James was driving it before the attack, seen here in this video posted to his YouTube account.
I am driving because I started my trip early.
James is facing federal terror-related charges. If convicted, he could be sentenced to life in prison. Rena Roy, ABC News, Brooklyn, New York.
Police in Weld County arrested a man's wife in connection to his deadly fentanyl overdose. Last month, Greeley police officers were called to a home for a suspected overdose, found a 33-year-old man's body. The Weld County Drug Task Force searched the home. They found about 160 fentanyl pills, along with a loaded gun. Amy Conradson was then arrested and charged with distribution of a controlled substance. She was also given special offender status because her home is within just a few hundred feet of Jefferson Junior High School. Lawmakers are meeting again this afternoon to discuss a bill to hold fentanyl dealers more accountable. A committee debated the bill until about 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. This bill would hold dealers liable for deaths, and it would raise possession of 4 grams of the drug to a felony. Critics worried that bill does not even go far enough and that possession of 4 grams is still too lenient.
The White House is taking action on the maternal health crisis. The United States ranks the worst of similar developed countries in terms of pregnancy-related deaths. Nearly 2/3 of the deaths are considered preventable. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has recently approved, or is working to approve, 15 states in Washington, D.C. to extend Medicaid and children's health insurance program coverage. That would give mothers and babies health care for a full year after birth. The agency is also proposing designating hospitals as birthing friendly. You'll be able to see the hospitals that have demonstrated a commitment to maternal health starting in the fall. The key to a longer, healthier life is really no secret at all. New research in the British Medical Journal looked at healthy lifestyle factors of people 65 and older in the United States. It scored diet, exercise, things people did to keep their mind stimulated, alcohol use, and smoking. Those who scored healthier added about 3 to 6 years to their life. The focus of this research was figuring out what kind of quality of life those extra years add.
Good news. So it reported that a healthy lifestyle was not only associated with a longer life expectancy, but also with a greater proportion of remaining years lived without Alzheimer's dementia.
Claire Sexton works at the Alzheimer's Association. She says one of the most common questions that she gets is how can people reduce their risks of Alzheimer's and dementia? This new research found of those who did develop Alzheimer's, the healthy lifestyle group lived more of their life without the disease.
It's important because it highlights measures that can be influenced. So it can be influenced at a personal level through our actions, also at a population level through policies.
Now, those who had higher health scores followed a hybrid Mediterranean or DASH diet. That's a diet low in red meats, fast and fried foods, and high in whole grains, green leafy vegetables, and berries. They got about 20 minutes a day of exercise. They kept their brain active through puzzles, books, and other cognitive activities. They didn't smoke and had low to moderate alcohol use.
Really, it's never too early or too late to be thinking about how we can best reduce our risk for Alzheimer's and other dementia.
The Alzheimer's Association promotes many of these healthy lifestyle factors as likely to reduce risk of cognitive decline. They're involved in a first-of-its-kind study to see if lifestyle interventions protect the brain in seniors at higher risk of cognitive decline. Experts recognize there are some barriers to healthy lifestyle choices like access to nutritional foods, but for those who can afford them, sometimes they just need a little push. Data published today found when shops, restaurants, and bars offered more vegetarian options and fewer sugary and alcoholic drinks, people made healthier choices. The study says healthier options combined with other measures like higher taxes on unhealthy products and marketing restrictions have the potential to improve overall population health. There's more interest and availability around income share agreements to pay for college. That's where you make payments in exchange for a percentage of your future earnings. The possible unfair terms and unforeseen costs that could come with this.
And a new push to reduce pollution across the Front Range during the smoggy summer months. Why air quality standards could soon get a lot stricter.